Hello everyone, welcome to DocHub. I am Dr. Sandeep Patel and today we are going to discuss on fellowship after ophthalmology. We got the request, a comment from our viewer that he want to know about fellowships, even the subspecialty, different subspecialties after ophthalmology in a practice. So let's discuss. What's the current scenario, the reasons to think about subspecialty, different ophthalmology subspecialties, how to pursue it, what's the current fraternity recognition, and at last the recommendations from our side, what we have observed and what you should know and be prepared for before going to this such subspecialty practice. So you can, before going forward even of, you can also view, if you are looking for a subspecialty medical practices, there are our previous videos also which give you a very good background and prepare you for your practice also. One is why fellowship in medical practice, second subspecialty in medical practice, where we have discussed on different aspect of while choosing a subspecialty, there are different aspect and analysis and factors you need to analyze, and also the common dilemma among the professionals, the fresher doctors, before any subspecialty medical practice choosing. So you can also check out these videos. So what's the current scenario in ophthalmology? You're doing after MBBS, you're pursuing MS, DNB, Diploma in Ophthalmology and DOMS, and PDCET course. After diploma, you are also DNB PDCET course. If you might be pursuing, these are the options. Even a CPS course is also available, and so after that you look for the jobs, so which are you can join as a senior resident in ophthalmology department of different institute, or you can join associate consultant to a senior ophthalmologist at different hospitals or institutes, or as a consultant you can join in remote areas or smaller towns where the direct consultant post is available for the freshers, postgraduates also. And so currently in tier 1 city, the ophthalmology subspecialties is establishing very quickly, and you will observe cities tier 1 where even in developed countries there are subspecialties in ophthalmology is very well established. Even the patients are also aware about some of the ophthalmic subspecialties. The subspecialty fraternity has also developed, and the dedicated eye care center and institutes and hospitals who are only providing the ophthalmology services, which creates a demand and as the environment for the subspecialty practices in ophthalmology. So let's see the reasons why you think about ophthalmology subspecialties. One is, there is a practice trend in tier 1 cities or a developed country. If you are planning to move, establish your practice in that particular area, definitely you need to think about it. The patient demand for the service, outcome, clinical outcome, and the special attention. So if you are in a general ophthalmology practice wherein you are examining and managing around so many patients in a day, like 50-60 patients in a day, it is very difficult to fulfill the demand of a patient and giving enough time to particular patient. So it is better you can focus your practice to particular subspecialty. It will increase the patient satisfaction and clinical outcome definitely. There are also currently the fraternity recognitions by different associations and specialties and the group of doctors specifically for the subspecialty, and you will get an expert status in a fraternity and in a practicing environment where you are practicing among the peers, among the existing practitioners. You will get a recognition as a expert as a particular subject, and more importantly you will get an expert status among the fraternity and practitioners groups. So all these have created industry need for upcoming ophthalmology graduates So let's see what role are such subspecialties available. Pediatric ophthalmology, retina surgery, glaucoma surgery, cataract surgery, cornea surgery, which is also a cornea transplant as well as includes in the cornea surgery, squint surgery, oculoplastic surgery, ocular oncology, ocular trauma, ocular genetics, neurologic ophthalmology. So all these subspecialties are now establishing slowly. Some of are already established in a particular cities, or you can also observe surrounded in different institutes at a particular cities in developed countries also. Now how to pursue this and how to search for the fellowships, because before any of such subspecialty you need to pursue a particular training or a fellowship to get an enough exposure and understand deeply for this particular subspecialty. So you can search all these subspecialty on doctorhub.com, our website, wherein under a courses section you can go to all courses and filter as per your requirement. In a medical discipline you will get a specialty filter, and all these particular specialty, whatever your area of interest, you can filter it and you can get the particular fellowships options available in different institutes and hospitals who are offering such subspecialty fellowships. You can download a brochure, get all the course information, and also you can apply to directly to that hospital and institute from that. Now let's see the fraternity recognition in particular subspecialties. What all are available at a national or international level? There are different societies who are there for development of such this subspecialty. One is Strabismus and Pediatric Ophthalmological Society of India, American Association for Pediatric Ophthalmology and Strabismus, European Society of Cornea and Ocular Surface Disease Specialists, International Society of Ocular Oncology, Intraocular Implant and Refractory Society of India, Ocular Trauma Society of India, International Society of Ocular Trauma, Scientific Association of Retinoblastoma and Ocular Oncology, United Kingdom Neuro-Ophthalmology Society, and International Society for Genetics, Eye Diseases and Retinoblastoma. So these are the few fraternity recognition which is internationally and nationally available, which provides you the environment for the subspecialty, the training, mentorship, different academic activities at a national as well as international level. It is available, so you can also approach to them and you can search about different societies and their activities. You can attend it, so you will get more idea about your area of interest also. And I would like to request, please comment below if you are planning for such fellowship, which subspecialty you would like to go for. Please comment below. What challenges you think while choosing subspecialty you are facing, or you think about that you might be get such challenges. You please comment. And what is your view on subspecialty medical practice? Please comment below so that we can come up with we can more interact in detail for such subspecialty practices. Now let's see the recommendations from our side, what you should do or what should be your approach while this subspecialty fellowship. So before going any of the subspecialty, you should ensure that you get enough work. It will also give you identify your area of interest. So your general ophthalmology exposure will help you to identify your area of interest and to decide which subspecialty you want to go, because you cannot and please don't attract with an opportunity. but focus on skill and interest, which is the key area to establish a subspecialty practice. And after that, once you decide your area of interest, search for the fellowships, go for it. We recommend that you join full-time fellowship. If you are in a beginning years of your career, definitely you should go for the full-time fellowship, because that only it gives you real sense of the subspecialty practice and you can understand the subject and skills better. And after that, you can join an institute in a particular subspecialty department, or you can also join the existing team of ophthalmologists, wherein you can fill such subspecialty aspect in that particular group practice. And you can also go for independent practice in fewer cities in surround. You can also observe the city you want to practice, wherein what is the scope of independent practice. So that's all for the topic. Thank you very much, and please subscribe DocThub channel and like our videos so that we can reach to the as much as healthcare professionals who need such kind of different content. Thank you very much.